I'm going to bring on Adrian first. Adrian is in Adelaide, Australia. Can you hear me, Adrian? And how are you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Top man, I can hear you in your dulcet Aussie tones, Adrian. What time is it there?
I think it's sort of 3:40 a.m. or something.
Oh, mate, the commitment. And were you getting as wound up in your library, what looks like a library, as I was getting in this room in England?
I was. I have to whisper sometimes because my wife sleeps in the next room, so I've got to kind of, but it's kind of a very aggressive whispering at different times of the game. So particularly with some of the refereeing decisions or the kind of the approach the referee took to the game that you were commenting on.
Do you agree with me then? Because obviously, like, I'm watching it on my own and I'm seeing the comments, but I'm not really getting a full idea of what's going on. But for me, the refereeing from the start was almost like he's made this decision to play this way, and it's made a rod for his own back that he then couldn't get back from.
Yeah, it was frustrating. Having said that, I felt that maybe the toughest one for us was when we had advantage and he called it back for the free kick.
Yeah, when we were in on the left, weren't we?
Yeah, and I thought we really might have taken them on and finished them off with that play because they were very exposed. Having said that, I've never been one to blame referees for our results. I think today we played against a very, very good side, a very disciplined side. I thought I thought your comment about our exposure at the back post was right. We just seem to that is a bit of a weakness we have. We seem to not we give the other side lots of latitude on that far side when the ball's coming across, and we don't sort of close that down quickly, and it just leaves us exposed to that fast ball into the middle.
Yeah.
And it happened again today, unfortunately, and I thought they really opened us up on that on our right back side. And
actually, sorry to interrupt, Adrian, but we were being opened up there against Man City time and time again last week. And although, people I think will have forgotten about that because we won 4-0 so comfortably, but the reality is, from my point of view, we've got to be better at stopping crosses from source, and we've got to be better at marking our back post so it's not such a gilt-edged chance each time.
Yeah, look, the other thing for me is that I get this zone defensing, but defense work, but being an Italian, an Australian of Italian migrants, I've grown up in that kind of man-to-man marking that we Italians are just used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it interesting when players from the opposition side who are attacking seem to have space, and our defenders are kind of more playing a zone marking kind of scenario, and the combination of that with giving the other side latitude out on those wings, it feels like we're just regularly exposed.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, just going into some comments here, and obviously you're Australian, so I'd like to hear your opinion on this. Tottenham definitely at the moment have a very reactive fan base, and when we don't get the result that everybody wants, you start to get the people talking about Ange's future. And I'm just going to call it I'm just going to say L by L. He'll know who he is, as said in the comments. Ange out. My decision is made purely on his signings, game plan, and substitutions. He's a shite manager. Now, I do not feel that way, and I don't think a draw at home to Fulham. And like you said, I think Fulham played very well. I think they benefited from having a free week and more energy than us for sure. But, this is what I think will go down amongst a lot of Spurs fans as a game that we should have won in advance of the game. We should be beating teams like Fulham at home. We did beat them last season. Where are you on Ange and the project, etc., etc.?
Barnaby, I'm all in on Ange. I've followed him since he started coaching. He won a championship in his second season as a coach, and he's won championships everywhere he's gone, just about. I think we need some perspective on today's game. I say tonight because, of course, it's in the middle of the night here. But we need some perspective. So you've got to look at the way we set up. We lost Solanke before the game. Mm-hmm. We were back playing Son as a central striker, which I just don't think is anywhere near our best situation.
Yeah.
we were very much a makeshift side today, I thought.
Agreed.
And then within that, I felt that a couple of our players who have been really strong for us struggled a bit today. I felt like, I think Pedro Porro must have played more minutes than any other player in the side over recent weeks.
Yeah.
And he's doing an enormous amount of running and being involved in attacking plays. And but a lot of that work that he's doing is kind of those crosses from sort of 2/3 up the field on the right that just kind of are not really kind of penetrating the opposition's box.
Yeah.
And then he's having to run back quickly, and we were exposed on the right-hand side there. I felt Pape Matar, after absolutely dominating it recently, struggled a bit today. That was my assessment of his game. Bissouma, as well as he played in different parts of the game, has sort of, he's given the ball away a little bit, and that's put us under pressure. We've lost Vicario, which is really important to recognise. I thought Forster had a fantastic game today.
Yeah.
But I think that's been a destabilising thing for the team, having Vicario go out injured. I thought we felt that during the week in the Europa League, and I think we're going to take a bit of time to sort of. We can't replace Vicario, but his presence on this, he's clearly a leader. I mean, Ange is putting the captain's armband on him when Son and the two vice captains are not there, so he's clearly a dominant personality in that team.
Mm-hmm.
So those things are unsettling for a side. I mean, you think about it, we had really strong result against Manchester City. You would have hoped that we might have had some momentum coming out of that game. So I think we've got to supporters need to have some perspective about what's happened since we beat Manchester City. And I think the loss of Vicario has been significant for on-field leadership. Yeah. And coming back to the Maddison point, I think the fact that Ange has taken him off at that crucial part of the game, I think in Maddison's mind would be kind of difficult to take, because one expects the player who's wearing the number 10, one expects the player who's wearing the number 10 in that situation. The other team's gone down to 10 men. It's there to be won. You're on your home pitch. You want your number 10 to stand up, in effect, win that game for you, to take that decisive moment to either assist or score a goal. But I have to say, watching the game today, I wasn't feeling that. I didn't feel that Maddison was going to do that for us. I felt like he'd tried what he could try, but he didn't have that sort of magic spark that was going to take us over the line. And in the end, I mean, Ange ended up putting Kulusevski on as a number 9, took Werner off, who had played a good game, so that he could put Son back out on the left. And we were stuck with playing Kulusevski as a striker, central striker, which is clearly not his position, not where he's been playing. So I think that was a very, very makeshift lineup today. And it was not something that the manager would have chosen to do. I thought he tried things, hoping they would come off at the end of the game there, in the hope that we would somehow sneak in a goal in that last 10 minutes when we had one extra player. Yeah. But we've got to continue to have perspective about this team and about the project. I believe Ange Postecoglou is the manager that's going to take us to the ultimate glory, and I think we need to have some patience. And
I hope you're right, Adrian.
Yeah, managers like Alex Ferguson and others, supporters of that team were wanting him to be out, early in his tenure at Manchester United. Patience is critical.
Adrian, listen, mate, thank you so much for calling in. I've got loads of people to talk to, so I'm going to have to move away from you, but try and get some sleep, mate, and I'll talk to you after another game soon, I'm sure.
Thanks, Barnaby. All the best.
Mate. Thanks a lot, mate. Bye-bye.